Imagine this. You're the most powerful man in the world. You have an empire, armies, and unimaginable wealth. But in a single moment, the love of your life is ripped away. And when you try to honor her memory, your own family betrays you, locking you in a cell. But here's the twist. Your revenge isn't loud. It isn't violent. It's something so grand that centuries later, your enemies are forgotten, but your love and your vengeance stand tall as one of the greatest wonders of the world. This is the true story of the Taj Mahal. If you've ever dreamed of seeing justice served against betrayal and watching karma play out in the most poetic way possible, then hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready. Because this isn't just a love story. It's one of the most satisfying revenge tales in history. Full narrative expansion, bulk 6 to 13 minutes. Centuries ago, India was ruled by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. He wasn't just powerful, he was feared, respected, and admired. But beneath the crown, he was also a man in love. And that love had a name, Mumtaz Mahal. She wasn't just beautiful. She was kind, pure-hearted, and the one person who could calm the storms raging inside an emperor's heart. Wherever Shah Jahan went, in the battlefield, in the royal court, in moments of joy or despair, Mumtaz was there. She wasn't just his queen, she was his anchor. Together, they had 13 children. Their bond seemed unbreakable, until destiny decided to test him. In 1631, during childbirth of their 14th child, Mumtaz Mahal's health collapsed. The palace halls that once echoed with laughter fell silent. Shah Jahan, the man who commanded millions, could do nothing but watch as his beloved slipped away. And when she took her final breath, something inside him shattered. People say that night, the emperor didn't eat, didn't sleep. His beard turned gray almost overnight. The man who once held the power of life and death in his hands now looked powerless, broken, defeated. But deep within his grief, a promise burned. If death has stolen you from me, then I will build something so eternal that not even time will dare to erase your name. The plan, building revenge Thrug. So he began. By the banks of the Yamuna River, Shah Jahan ordered the construction of a mausoleum. But this wasn't going to be just any tomb. No, this was going to be a defiance of death itself. He summoned the greatest architects of the era from Persia, Turkey, and beyond. 20,000 workers were gathered. White marble was dragged from Rajasthan, precious stones from across the world, and artisans carved verses into the walls so delicate, it was as if angels had written them. For 22 years, this project consumed him. Every brick, every stone, every dome was not just architecture. It was therapy. It was his rebellion against fate. It was his revenge on a cruel destiny that dared to take away the woman he loved. And finally, when the sun rose over its completed form, the world gasped. The Taj Mahal stood, a palace of eternal love. Gleaming in white marble, surrounded by gardens, its dome rising like heaven itself. But just when it seemed Shah Jahan had conquered grief, a darker betrayal was waiting. The betrayal. Shah Jahan's son, Aurangzeb, grew restless. To him, his father's devotion to the Taj Mahal was a weakness. He wanted the throne, the power, the empire, and he wasn't willing to wait. So he did the unthinkable. He rebelled. He overthrew his own father. And the man who built the most beautiful wonder in the world was locked away like a criminal. For the next 8 years, Shah Jahan sat in a prison cell in Agra Fort. His only window, one that looked directly at the Taj Mahal. Every day, he would sit there, frail and broken, staring across the river at the masterpiece he created. The mausoleum of his beloved. The one thing Aurangzeb couldn't take away. And in those moments, something incredible happened. The psychological. Because while Aurangzeb thought he had won, stripping his father of his crown, his power, and his freedom, he didn't realize that history had already chosen its victor. Aurangzeb would be remembered as the son who betrayed his father. But Shah Jahan? He had built something deathless. Something so magnificent, so eternal, that even centuries later, people whisper his name in awe. Imagine that. You're locked in a cell, but outside your window, every single day, your enemies are reminded that your love, and your creation will outlast their greed. That was Shah Jahan's revenge. Not a sword, not a war, but a monument so immortal that even betrayal couldn't erase it. When Shah Jahan finally died, his body was carried across the river. And there, inside the Taj Mahal, he was laid to rest right beside Mumtaz. For centuries, kings, queens, generals, and empires have risen and fallen. Aurangzeb's name? Barely remembered outside history books. But Shah Jahan and Mumtaz? Millions still visit them every year. The Taj Mahal isn't just a tomb, it's a victory. A love story disguised as the greatest revenge destiny ever witnessed. And that's the lesson. Sometimes, revenge doesn't need to be fire and fury. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is living or leaving behind something so beautiful that it outshines the cruelty done to you. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Tell me in the comments. Do you think Shah Jahan's revenge was greater than any war he could have fought? And of course, subscribe for more stories of love, betrayal, and the most satisfying acts of revenge the world has ever seen.